After a surprisingly clean outing at IRP last week, can the drivers of the Venom Truck Series duplicate the effort in the desert here tonight? We're just minutes away from finding out as the drivers are wrapping up practice for tonight's running of the DealDosesForFree.com 69 plus 46 here tonight on the new configuration of Phoenix Raceway. It is the second time the Venom trucks have come here to Phoenix, but they haven't been here since season one, which means that they haven't had a crack at the new configuration just yet. Who will come out on top here tonight? Well, we've got 115 laps to decide it here tonight on turn 200. We'll be back in just over a minute to reveal some really exciting news and get you ready for tonight's running of round number 4 of season number 5 for the Venom Truck Series. It's just around the turn here on turn 200.
A blind night that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Welcome back live to virtual Phoenix Raceway. You got the boys hanging out with you here tonight. My name is Tommy Cook. We've got the man with the plan, Mr. Matt Williamson, hanging tough with us through his own bout with illness and also through technical difficulties here tonight, as they've been aplenty so far. But let's not waste any time here. We've got super cool announcements, 2 of them, in fact, that you're going to want to hear. Let's not bury the lead, Mr. Matt. What have we got planned for the folks in Turn 200 land this week?
Yeah, so something that's really cool that's coming up just here in at the end of the week. It's going to be Friday and Saturday. We have the Daytona Charity Shootout. This is brought to you by Alpha Prime Racing and Clear Cryptos. Their Daytona Charity Shootout will be taking place right here on Turn 200 iRacing Saturday night starting at 9 o'clock Eastern. That's 8 Central, with the star-studded field of some of NASCAR's up-and-coming stars. And also Friday, if you think you can hang with the big boys, you'll have your own chance to prove it, because we're having an open qualifier to determine the last few starters in the field on Friday night, and that will also be broadcast right here on Turn 200. And that Friday qualifier is going to be something.
Yeah, that's going to be a hoot and a half, I tell you what. I just can't believe that this deal has come together. We got to give a lot of thanks to Nathan Reynolds for facilitating the hookup between ourselves and the NASCAR Reports Instagram channel. RJ Starcevic, rather, helped put this all together with Team Alpha Prime. And, man, this is going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm super excited about that, aren't you?
Yeah, excited is a little bit of an understatement. We are quite ecstatic about it. We have been asked to do this, and I don't know how, I don't know why, but we're going to show up and we're going to do our thing and hope that everybody enjoys it, and it's for a great cause, so it's going to be awesome.
A lot of things still in the works as well, but a lot of very exciting, really cool things for the viewers here at Turn 200. So a lot to look forward to on Friday and Saturday night. Also exciting, as we're watching some truck racing here, we actually had plans before the Venom Truck Series came along and asked us to come on board, which of course, we're more than happy to do. These are an awesome crop of drivers. But we've had plans for a while to do our own truck series here on Turn 200. And so we are very proud to announce this week what we're hoping will be the flagship programming here on Turn 200 is Truck 200. So Truck 200, sign-ups are open now. Getting ready for 12 rounds of some challenging tracks, some challenging race conditions. And hopefully it's going to be a whole lot of fun here. Things will kick off on January the 16th with the inaugural 200 at Talladega. We've got rounds at Atlanta, Watkins Glen, Dover, Indianapolis, Iowa, Chicagoland, Gateway, Interlagos, which is going to be interesting.
Certainly.
Daytona, Phoenix, and Auto Club to round it out. Truck 200. It's already got some big-name drivers from multiple walks of life in the sim world signed up, and I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this because we're kind of bringing people that we know from some of the leagues that we've broadcasted and just some of the people that we've raced with previously. It's going to be really exciting, and we're also trying to make it exciting in the future. We're going to give the drivers the chance to vote on some tracks in the upcoming seasons and different things. So we're looking to start something special for sure.
Absolutely. We want you to be a part of it, so be sure. Do you have the thing up on there with the QR codes right now? If it's still up there, go ahead and scan the QR code. You can join our Discord. You can sign up. It's open to anybody with a C-Class Oval license. And come be a part of the inaugural season of Truck 200. We'd love to have you. So just another minute or so before we get rolling here tonight. It's about time for the – are you ready for this? You're going to hear it again. The DealDosForFree.com, 69 plus 46. Thanks a lot to Cole Maxwell for that one. It's a mouthful. What are we looking for here tonight? Just a couple of things as they get ready to rock and roll around Phoenix.
Yeah, as we're getting ready to run here, a few things to keep in mind here tonight. One of the major things is going to be tires, which we talked about a lot last week at IRP. It's going to be very prevalent again here tonight. Cold tires are going to be very loose. They can break loose easily. We saw a couple of incidents with cold tires last week at IRP. We're looking at possibly the same here this week, so you got to be careful. 3 to 4 laps it's going to take to really get those things, put some heat in them so you can kind of get after it. And some other things that we have here for you tonight, things about the race that are always the case here in the Venom Truck Series. There are 0 fast repairs. We do have lucky dogs and wave arounds. The leader has lane choice on the restarts, and there are 3 extra sets of tires in the pits. Now for tonight, we're probably looking at around 90 laps on a tank of fuel, but again, like last week, probably won't see people pushing that unless you're on a really crazy strategy, just because you're going to want the tires before the fuel for sure.
And open dogleg as well. I think you can sum that up with one word, and that would be chaos. I think that's probably what everybody is thinking here. We've had a few drivers say how they felt about possibly being passed in the dogleg. Let's just say it's not going to be very popular. But let's go ahead and give you the starting lineup then for tonight's running of the DealDosForFree.com, 69 plus 46 from virtual Phoenix Raceway. It's round number 4 of the 5th season of the Venom Truck Series. With his second career pole, his first since Season 3 at iRacing Superspeedway, it's Michigan race winner Chad Stearns, starting in P1 with a 27.224. Starting to his outside, the third-place finisher from IRP, twice a podium finisher here this season, it is Nathan Reynolds, the 2-time champ, starting on the outside in the front row. Corey Rutherford, man, he is putting together quite the opening stretch to the season here. He starts on the inside of row number 2. And your IRP winner from last week starts to his outside. It's Ryan Dye in P4. Eric Breeding with a P5 qualifying run. Michael Dean to his outside. Michael Krall, Andy Poliski 7th and 8th. TJ Bartle making his debut here tonight, starts P9. Kyle Zittel in 10th. Ellison, Salamone, Peterson, Rainey, Froman, McKinnon, all through 16th. Jan Van Leer is back. He's in 17th. Race sponsor Cole Maxwell in 18th. Brantley Gainey Jr. in 19th. And Kevin Sargent is back this week as well. He starts P20. We are getting ready to roll around Phoenix. Chad Stearns was P1 in Michigan. Fought through a lot of adversity to crack off a top 10 last week at IRP, and now he leads the field down the new back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. Coming to the line, Chad Stearns. And Nathan Reynolds will take the green flag. We are underway in Phoenix. Never mind the cold tire business. Chad Stearns is all the way down to the inside wall.
And we're starting to sort things out here. Not
Wide.
quite as crazy. Yeah, I mean, here farther in the back, it's still kind of wild, but there towards the front, they are starting to get single file a little bit.
I believe that was Peterson, Vroman, and I believe maybe Garrett Rainey were 3 wide there through the dog leg. Actually, that was Will Salamone, rather.
Rainey and Salamone are swapping positions right now, going back and forth a little bit. That's for the 12th spot.
Side-by-side battle for the 4th position as Poliski, sporting a new paint scheme after his P2 finish last week at IRP. He is underneath of the man that finished 1 spot ahead of him, Ryan Dye. And now here goes Nathan Reynolds to the inside of Chad Stearns. This is for the race lead. Reynolds is going to get Stearns at the line and move him up to P1. I think
And
Michael
Reynolds.
Dean is having a peek underneath of Andy Poliski, but that one fades away. It's Poliski and Dye now side by side again. Go ahead.
Well, Reynolds used that dog leg, that open dog leg, right after the start-finish line to secure the pass over Stearns. That'll be interesting to see who uses that throughout the night. Here on the sim, in real life, they talk about how you could damage the underside of your vehicle, your truck or your car, but that's not really the case on a sim, so you can pretty much do it as much as you want. So we'll see who thinks that's going to help them here tonight.
Also, these trucks aren't that aero-sensitive at a track like Phoenix as compared to, say, the next-gen Cup car. So that's where a lot of that comes into play. And, yeah, you're right on the sim. It really doesn't matter that much. But how about Corey Rutherford holding tough in P3? Look at the guys he's fending off. That is a huge gaggle of trucks behind him. Poliski, Dye, Michael Dean, who is fighting hard. I believe that's Kyle Zittel up into the mix as well. And Rutherford is not only holding them off, but he's also on the prowl. He is gained right up to the tailgate now of Chad Stearns.
Yeah, and Rutherford's team had to do quite a bit of work after the end of the race last week. He ended upside down in turns 1 and 2 after the finish of the race. So they had to buff that truck up a little bit to get it to the position that it's in tonight. But he's making that thing work currently in 3rd, and he's all over the back of Stearns.
Do you think they sent Reynolds and Poliski the bill for that one since they started it?
I would assume, I think Reynolds would gladly take the bill for that if we're being totally honest, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Now this field is all tightened up now. It's all the way back to, I think, Eric Breeding and Michael Kral, who are battling for the 8th position right now. Pretty much everybody's nose to tail as they work lap number 9 here.
Yeah, and this is another race. You're not going to get a break. It doesn't matter where you are on the track. You're either going to have somebody trying to pass you for position, or as we keep going here, you're going to be either passing or being passed as a lapped truck. So there's not really much room for breathers or breaks here tonight.
Poliski's gotten through on Rutherford, and Michael Dean look to the inside. They make contact. Dean saves it. I don't know how. Unbelievable save there. He's only going to lose 2 spots out of the exchange as opposed to maybe junking that truck.
I'm going to try to take a little bit of a different view of the truck if I can. I'm trying to see. There is a little bit of damage on the right front. I actually think that was contact, the initial contact with the wall, though. There was no contact after. I thought he was just spinning into the inside wall. I don't know how he saved that. That was unbelievable.
It's amazing to me that he can wheel that truck around with a massive set of cojones that it would take to pull off that save.
All right, Noah Gregson.
Thank you. Poliski had a little bit of a look there through 1 and 2 underneath of Chad Stearns, but washed it up the track. He's right back to the attack, though. I'm not sure if that was a different, or if he washed it up the track, or if he's just taking a different line through 1 and 2. What used to be 3 and 4. I know I'm going to call it that at some point this race. That's a really interesting corner because you could take so many different approaches through it, and it may all just come out as a wash.
Yeah, the old you got me all confused now. Anyways, that turn, they're pretty much both turns at this track, honestly, especially as we start getting some tire wear. There are going to be some multiple lines, different places you can take. You can see Stearns was actually up a little bit higher there. Polisi's going to put it underneath and go through the dog leg. Doesn't help him now, and there is a caution. I'm not seeing...
Paul Sargent, I believe, is involved. Somebody just keyed up over the radio. But nevertheless, lap number 13, caution number 1 on the day.
I don't see much damage to Paul, but he is pretty far behind the field. Let's see what we can find here.
I believe you'll see Cole Maxwell is also involved. Really weird circumstances there. Cole was going a lot faster than Paul into that corner.
I'm going to back it up. Oh, yeah.
Cole came over the radio immediately after the crash had happened and apologized. But really odd set of circumstances there nevertheless.
Yeah, this is the 69 of Maxwell and Paul Sargent in the 49 truck. And as Tommy said, Paul's just a lot slower going in there, and Maxwell gets into the back of him, and Sargent tries his darndest to save it. I mean, he's sideways the entire way through this corner with Maxwell bearing down on him, and keeps it off the inside wall too, so really great job to save that truck. That could have been much worse for him.
Chad Stearns, Nathan Reynolds, Eric Breeding, Andy Poliski, I believe Kyle Zittel, Paul Ellison, Garrett Rainey. Some of the trucks that have hit pit road, the returning Jan Van Leer is back, Ethan Patterson, Michael Dean, Brantley Gainey, Paul Sargent, Cole Maxwell, of course, as well as Daniel Morey and Kyle Dumig. Those are the trucks that hit pit road. That gives control of this race over to Corey Rutherford.
So here we are.
Up front, led a lap at Daytona earlier this season. Is going to lead lap number 2 on the season after qualifying top 5 and staying top 5. Rutherford's doing pretty good out here tonight.
And we're seeing it again. Split strategies with an early caution, just like we saw last week at IRP. We have seen major strategy plays from a lot of folks this early in the season. These guys are looking for every advantage they can get. This one's going to be another one that's probably going to play out kind of crazy towards the end here.
You know me. I love my my tire strategy and my fuel strategy in actual races. And I think we've fallen into a good group here because these guys really like to mix it up 9 times out of 10. You're going to have a lot of varying strategies, and that's no different than what we're seeing here. Coming to the restart, it'll be lap number 17 up on the board. It'll be 99 laps to go. And it is Corey Rutherford with control of the restart on the inside. Last week's winner at IRP, Ryan Dye. We'll start to his outside. Michael Krall, TJ Bartle debuting here tonight on the outside of row number 2. Jeremy McKinnon and Steve Vroman on the 3rd row. 2 players that we've seen a lot up front this season with a little bit of work to do as the restart is underway. Great jump there for Rutherford. Crawl, the one way down there on the inside, trying to hold off McKinnon for third. Ooh, McKinnon slides up into Bartle. They nearly made contact, but everybody is still moving forward here.
Yeah, Bartle almost made contact with the outside wall. Also, he got real squirrely after almost getting into McKinnon. McKinnon stuffs it to the inside of, is that Crawl?
That is Crawl, and I couldn't tell if he actually physically moved him up the track or not, but man, there was really not a gap there, and McKinnon made his own door. Bartle lunges back to the outside of McKinnon there.
McKinnon was really good all night last week and ended up finishing outside of the podium, ended up fourth, I believe, so he's definitely looking for some redemption.
For the lead. Sorry, looking to the inside for the lead, Ryan Dye on the inside of Rutherford. And yeah, I agree. McKinnon led a lot of laps early last week. Definitely your Daytona winner wants to get back to victory lane. But so does Ryan Dye. Man, he really set it in there on the inside of Rutherford. And he's going to come out of turn number 2 with the top spot. Rutherford maybe trying to cross him back. Maybe just trying to get his preferred line. He gave Ryan Dye a lot of room there last time by out of turn number 4. Left the bottom open. Still riding P2. Now here comes McKinnon to the inside of Crawl in turn 3. Crawl rolls that middle really great. He's going to have a look here on Rutherford. He's got the momentum down the straightaway here. Crawl making the outside work for him through 3 and 4. They're side by side, now 3 wide behind McKinnon.
He's doing an incredible job, Michael Crawl is, of really just rolling it through the middle lane and gaining momentum and carrying it all the way through the corners throughout the track. He might get clear of Rutherford here.
Wrecking further back in the pack is the call. The caution is out.
And they're still wrecking, trying to get slowed down. Whoa, that was major contact.
Luke Peterson involved.
Brantley Gainey Jr. got slammed into the inside wall.
This started between Kyle Zittel and Chad Stearns, who are teammates. Zittel and Stearns kind of net-coded together. It was a really weird start at the absolute choke point.
And we see some takers. I'm going to try to get a replay racked up here real quick. And it already started there. We're going to back it up just a little bit.
And Stearns and Zittel are talking to each other over the radio. They both thought that they had left each other enough room. So I'm thinking you're going to see some netcode here.
Yeah, definitely some netcode. Zittel, the sim acted like Zittel was coming back down on Dean, but wasn't. I mean, he was straight at that point. It knocked, or not Dean, I apologize. That's Chad Stearns. It knocked Stearns sideways, and he just is going to end up spinning, and everybody behind him is going to try to check up. The 73 is going to get hard into him, and there were a bunch more here at one point. Yeah, they're stacked up big time behind him. We're on here with Gainey Jr., and he's going to get tagged. Well, they're all just kind of tagging each other. I don't know. There's really no at fault in any of this, but Gainey's going to get the worst of it into the inside wall, and then the 72's getting into him from the rear. And that's significant damage for the second week in a row early for Brantley Gainey Jr.
Yeah, Gainey, the big shiny metal ball in a pinball game that he doesn't want to be a part of. They're trying to sneak through it on the inside.
I love you, Tommy.
Thank you.
that was one of the greatest analogies of all time.
Yeah, sure. So some pitters, some stayers. The first driver on fresh tires that pit the first time around is Nathan Reynolds. He's back up to P5 now. If you're watching with us here tonight on Turn 200, make some noise. Chat's a little quiet. I know we got some people watching here tonight, so give us a shout. Say hello. We'd love to chat with you here as this race rolls along. When they come back to the line, it'll be 91 laps to go. Ryan Dye and Michael Krall on the front row. Dye with control of the restart. He has McKinnon and Pileski now behind him. As they hit the restart zone, Dye mashes the gas, and we go back green. Great jump for Dye. Michael Krall really struggling there on the outside. He lets McKinnon and Reynolds through. But working that outside, he's going to fight back with Reynolds. Oh, some spinning, I believe, further back in the pack. At least some tires squealing. Caution is out. Cole Maxwell, I believe maybe TJ Bartle involved as well. Oh. Oof, yeah, that's pretty significant impacts for Bartle and Maxwell. I think their race is over.
Well, this is what we were talking about at IRP last week. It didn't really happen, but cautions breed cautions, and we've had quite a few here pretty early on. So many trucks here, I don't even know where to look. This is Bartle in the 59.
I think Maxwell is the first person to get turned. I didn't see how it happened, though.
I didn't see it either. Let me go back to Maxwell's point of view and see if I can get a better look. Looks like him, and I believe that is the 21 of Langston. Looks like they get together.
And Langston is hard on the brakes after the contact to try and miss it. Bartle is braking as well. Doesn't quite get it wound up in time, though.
And Langston gets tagged into the outside wall here as well. And this is where Maxwell is going to take all that huge damage into the outside wall, and it's going to come right down into Bartle. That's just unfortunate.
So meatball flags for Bartle and for Maxwell. I think their races are effectively over. Michael Dean, I believe, just had a meatball flag, but he has gotten it cleared up. So he's 4 laps down, but I believe he's back out onto the track. Or maybe not. Not 100% sure. And while all that was happening, we did have some pit stops among the leaders. Jeremy McKinnon is now out in front. Nathan Reynolds is now back inside the top 5 in P2. Kyle Zittel, Andy Pileski, Chad Stearns, who was just involved 2 cautions ago, now rounds out your top 5. Kevin Sargent in 6th. Eric Breeding, Paul Ellison, Ethan Patterson, and Kyle Dumig as we work lap number 28 under the 3rd caution of the race. I want to remind some of the viewers that maybe weren't here for our pre-show earlier that we have the biggest race in Turn 200 history this Saturday night. It is the Alpha Prime Racing and Clear Cryptos Daytona Charity Shootout, also presented by the NASCAR Report. It'll be taking place right here Saturday night starting at 9 o'clock Eastern. A star-studded field with some of NASCAR's up-and-coming stars. And if you think you can hang with the big boys, you're more than welcome to come out on Friday night, also at Daytona with the Xfinity car, to try and be one of the last few to qualify in to the Saturday night charity shootout. Handful of heat races, be taking the winners out of the heats. And also, if you've got a big fan base, a big devoted fan base, you can try your hand into getting voted in as the very last person to take to the grid on Saturday night. So if you're not going to race with us, come out and hang out Friday and Saturday. Going to be a big crowd on hand here virtually. I mean, not just in the grandstands, but I mean here on the channel as well. So we'd love for you to be a part of it, whether you race on Friday and make it in on Saturday or you're just hanging out with us both nights. We hope to see you there. As we're going to restart on lap number 30. It'll be 86 laps to go when they come back to the line. Jeremy McKinnon elects the outside. He's on some older tires, maybe just giving Nathan Reynolds the bottom here as they head to the Geico restart zone. We are back underway. They're 3 and 4 wide further back in the pack as McKinnon gets up in front of Reynolds. Reynolds now has Poliski to his inside. Zittle's got to run down to the inside of Reynolds as well. Poliski is clear. He's side by side now with Zittle for fourth. Or for third, rather. And on the outside, he is going to take it. Maybe not. Zittle fighting back. Single file now through the top 5, I believe, as Chad Stearns and Eric Breeding are battling side by side for 6th. So maybe it's time to settle into a long green flag run here. But I don't want to jinx it by saying what I just said.
Well, as a driver, all these restarts, starting and stopping, it's not comfortable as a driver. Now, if you're a little bit farther back and you think you can, you have some positions to be gained from the restarts, that's one thing. But, a lot of these drivers, I'm sure, want to kind of find a rhythm and do what they know that they can, which is turn good laps and make some passes as they go. And we really haven't had a chance to do that other than an initial, I think it was 15 laps. So I think some of our drivers are looking to settle in here and just get to work.
Keeping our eyes on some of the drivers who pit further back in the pack and are on fresh tires trying to work their way up through the field. Ryan Dye, I believe, is leading the way out of those drivers who have just come down to pit on the most recent caution. He's picking them off left and right. He's underneath the Pascal Simard right now. That'll be for spot number 12. If he can get that one. Then he'll have Will Salamone and Steve Roman ahead of him to get himself back into the top 10. Jeff Langston also back here fighting on fresh tires. He's trying to make his way through the holes that Ryan Dye is making.
And Dye almost hit the inside wall going on the dogleg there. He was way down there on the inside.
And one driver I want to talk about while he's in the top 5 here is Kevin Sargent. As, somebody just had a moment up there. I think it's Garrett Rainey who's a lap down. He's staying out of the way of the leaders here. But Kevin Sargent, I believe, had to use a provisional last week, wasn't at IRP. You're one of the Daytona dual winners earlier this season. It's great to see him running back in the top 5 here tonight. As the top 4 have broken away from the rest of the field, it's McKinnon by about 3 truck lengths over Andy Poliski. Nathan Reynolds a couple of truck lengths behind him, and Kyle Zittle is trying to pull up to the tailgate here as the caution is back out. Paul Sargent is involved. And yeah, Paul Sargent is probably good. It looks like he's trailing some smoke out of that one.
Yeah, I think Paul Sargent's night's probably going to be over. I'm going to try to see what happens here. Give me just a moment and I'll get one.
What you're going to see is some 4-wide action through the dogleg.
And we cut to him making some severe contact to the wall.
I'd say after you show it a couple of times, go to the onboard of Garrett Rainey. That's a jump scare if I've ever seen one.
That's Rainey on the outside. Crawls on the inside here in that 11. This is the 81 and the 49 that get together here. The 81 is Ethan Patterson, and Sargent is going to make heavy contact to that wall. then I'm gonna take some of Tommy's advice. We're gonna go look at Mr. Rainey's view of it and see what he saw.
Yeah, don't make a habit of taking my advice, though. It's usually not very good.
Man, you're not kidding. He hardly even slowed down either.
So while we were looking at the replay, Jeremy McKinnon has relinquished the lead and come down pit road. Kevin Sargent comes down with him as well. Kyle Dumig on pit road. Chad Stearns getting some repairs done, it looks like. Jeff Langston also getting some service as well. And I believe Garrett Rainey, who just went a lap down under that green flag stint, is now back on the lead lap after getting the lucky dog. But McKinnon pitting means that Andy Poliski is back out front. Led quite a few laps last week at IRP. In fact, 56. That was the most laps led. He got the pole and came up one spot short. P2 finish for Poliski.
And this new paint scheme he's running this week is a beauty.
Yeah, he sparked the old Pepsi versus Coca-Cola debate in the Discord this morning, which is always a lot of fun. Everybody always enjoys that. Of course, I had to come in and meme and represent RC Cola, and nobody was having it. So, but last time we were here at Phoenix, Poliski finished runner-up, albeit with a field of, I think, 17 trucks. There are 27 that started the race here tonight. There were 27 at IRP last week as well. But he led 13 laps and finished second. But that was on the old configuration of Phoenix, but not Legacy Phoenix. There is a difference.
Yeah, I mean, with Legacy Phoenix, the turns 1 and 2 are 3 and 4, and the start-finish line is nowhere near where it usually is. So it's quite different for sure.
And then after they redid Phoenix, they had one scan of it with the same turn and start-finish line configuration. And then they came out with this configuration and scrapped that one altogether. So you can either do the 2008 version or you can do the 2021 version. You can't do the 2013 version, unfortunately. So those are your two options. Last time they were here, they ran on that now completely abandoned 2013 version of the track. So this is technically a first time out, technically not a first time out. But either way, Poliski finished second last time. He finished second last week. He wants to do one better here tonight. He's got Nathan Reynolds to his outside here for the restart. As we come back to the green, it is 74 laps to go. Rutherford back into the top 5. He brings Paul Ellison with him. They're battling side by side for 4th, but up front it's the top 3. Single file as they work down the back straightaway.
Somebody I'm not sure we've mentioned at all, if not just a little bit, is Steve Roman and that 00. We've talked about him a lot the last couple of weeks with the strategy plays that he's had with fuel and tires and everything, and he finds himself up here in 6th. Hasn't really had a chance to showcase the strategy play much, as we've had quite a few caution periods. Everybody's been able to come in for fuel and tires when they needed to, so he's looking to just put the tires to the pavement and say, you know what, I don't need those strategy calls. I can just go out there and get it done on lap times as well.
I think the only strategy that's left in play now is a late race caution. Everybody should have at least one set of tires, if not 2 full sets, in the pits waiting for them. The question is, when the caution falls, are you going to come in or are you going to stay out? That's really the one thing we haven't seen these drivers roll the dice on. We haven't seen a lot of people after a long green flag run try and stay to capitalize on getting some track position. That's about the only strategy play we really haven't seen this season.
Yeah, we heard some drivers talk about last week. They were taking, 2 tires instead of 4, but we haven't seen anybody just stay out and not take tires at all. You're correct. So maybe this track has a little more banking. It might be here that we see it tonight.
Reynolds led across the line there by just a nose, 32 1/1000ths of a second. He is still battling Poliski there side by side for the lead. They're side by side for third. Behind him is Zittel, has to come off the wall and nearly gets into the nose of Paul Ellison. He's having a great run here tonight. Vroman and Rutherford are side by side behind them, and here comes Zittel, almost some contact with Reynolds, who has ceded the lead back to Poliski.
Boy, I thought Zittel was going to stuff it in the middle, in between Reynolds and Poliski, and I don't think that would have worked.
No, I don't think it was going to work either, but Zittel was going to try, that's for sure. So Reynolds taking a breather here. Poliski is back out front. Zittel is back to third. Ellison and now Vroman are side by side for fourth. Rutherford is under fire from Ryan Dye. They are side by side for the 6th position.
And Ellison's now looking to the inside of Zittel. And Zittel's to the outside of Reynolds. Man, they're stacked up again all of a sudden.
There's some crazy racing. Hope everybody's enjoying it here on Turn 200. Give us a shout. Can't believe we have a completely quiet chat so far. Now we got some people watching, so say hello. And tell us if you're enjoying this action or not, because it's been pretty spectacular from Virtual Phoenix thus far.
Rutherford's going to have a run on Ellison here. He's going to look to the inside.
Ellison really sent it in there on the outside and then had to brake hard. It looked more like a Turn 1 entry than a Turn 3 entry. He really just absolutely zipped it in there on the outside.
They've been side by side for about a lap and a half now. Rutherford really sending it in there. Washes up the track a little bit. Ellison has to go high. And here comes Ryan Dye trying to take advantage. Not going to happen this time.
Seems like most of the field is starting to catch up to this lead pack now. Michael Krall, Will Salamone, Jan Van Leer, Jeremy McKinnon just caught the tail end of this group as well. I mean, it's not going to be a pack race, but it's not going to be a pack race. As it seems like all of the top 10 make it the top 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 are in touch with the leaders here.
Well, you got to keep in mind McKinnon was very quick, and he is on the newest tires out of anybody. So yes, he is going to be coming with a head of steam, and he's not going to want to waste any time either. He's going to want to use those tires while he has them.
That is exactly what he's doing. He's getting around Ryan Dye now. They'll have Ellison next in line.
And we missed it. Steve Vroman has gotten around Rutherford now. So Vroman to fourth.
And the top two have kind of broken away from everybody else, at least by a few car lengths. But Poliski and Reynolds. And Reynolds is drawing nearer to the tailgate there of the 32.
This is the cockpit of Ryan Dye. He had a good look at a battle here as he's going to try to go around. And I say around, he's going to go to the inside of Ellison, take the dog leg after the start-finish line.
Rutherford and McKinnon battling for, I believe, the 5th position. Rutherford trying to run McKinnon out of room there on the top side, heading into turn number 1. As here goes Reynolds to the inside of Poliski. Poliski leaves the door open with some lap traffic ahead. Reynolds may get there at the line, but Poliski not done battling back on the outside just yet.
And Zittel and Vroman are battling there now. Zittel to third again. I think Vroman got around him there for a second.
But now Poliski is fading. Here comes Zittel now to the inside, boxed in by lap traffic. Zittel is up to P2 for the time being. Garrett Rainey trying to stay out of the way of the leaders here as the lights come on the sim. That's why it looked all funky there for a second. The shadows look kind of weird as the lights start to come on around the virtual Phoenix Raceway.
And Poliski's had to go high there, and it really messed up his rhythm. He's under fire from Zittel and McKinnon right behind him now as well.
Reynolds out to over a half a second lead as well. McKinnon really trying to get in on the right rear quarter panel of Zittel there. And a slingshot, if you will, out of turns 3 and 4. And McKinnon is up to P3 now. Remember, you said it. He's got the freshest tires out of anybody up in this lead pack.
Somebody else who I think has fresh tires is Jeff Langston. Langston is having a good run, this green flag run. He's back to the back of Roman now. As him and Rutherford are going to make contact.
Whoa!
Rutherford's going to go around.
Oh, is he
No,
going to
he's
save
not.
it?
He's
He
gonna
locks
save
it down. Wow. That was an incredible save. Ryan Dye comes over to the radio to say that was an incredible save. Everybody here knows that was an incredible save, but man, the cost of so many positions there for Corey Rutherford, who is having a great run. Race isn't over yet, though. He can claw his way back up into the top 5 with the way he's been racing here tonight. But certainly a setback. As now McKinnon has gotten around Poliski, and I think it's on.
Yeah, McKinnon's got the clear track now. He's got the fresh tires. It's up to him to run down Nathan Reynolds now.
In Season 1, Jeremy McKinnon finished 8th. I believe he was up front for a little bit. Nathan Reynolds in Season 1 here at Phoenix finished P3. These are two drivers that know how to get around here. Really know how to get around anywhere. McKinnon already a winner here this season. Reynolds tied with 2 other drivers for the most wins in series history. Looking to be the first driver to get into triple digits here tonight. Or triple digits, good God. How about double digits instead?
Ooh, and Vroman got close to the outside wall there.
Well, my, oh, good.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, my good old iRacing just crashed, so I'm going to leave this one to you for a little bit.
All right, partner, that sounds good. Well, Vroman is working on Zittel now. He's not cleared yet. Langston is behind these two as well, and Langston has been hounding Vroman for the last 5 laps or so. Vroman's not going to be able to get it done, and now Langston may get around him. So what looked like a pass that was going to be to take the 4th spot is going to end up with Steve Vroman back to 6th possibly here. This is a great little 3-truck battle we got going. And don't you worry, I'm keeping an eye on my gap and my between Nathan Reynolds and McKinnon. McKinnon's still about a second behind Reynolds. We're going to keep watching that as we watch some other battles on the track here. Chad Stearns has closed in here. We saw him up front earlier. He's been kind of hanging out here towards the back of the top 10. And there's a big gap between him and Michael Krall now as well. And Ryan Dye's going to look to the inside of Vroman now. Vroman seems to have lost a little bit of his mojo. He needs to regroup and get back to it here. And Jeff Langston, who got around Vroman and Zittel not too long ago, is now running down Poliski. So Langston, who also has fresh tires, is making him work to his advantage. He's got a little damage there you can see as well. Doesn't seem to be affecting him, though. He's rolling this top side beautifully. Poliski trying to do everything he can to hold on. But it is not going to be enough. Langston's going to get around him, and I think he's going to be looking for more.
Sounds really exciting.
I wish you were here to see it, but nonetheless, the show must go on.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm now one of the 13 people that are watching this broadcast live, and the chat is still conspicuously empty, so give us a shout here.
McKinnon's actually losing ground a little bit to Reynolds now. The gap is to almost a second and a half. The gap from McKinnon to Langston is about 1.3 seconds. We're going to maybe be looking for that to close up here, as McKinnon seems like he's really burned the tires down and is maybe struggling a little bit.
It's a lot of work to make your way all the way up through the field. He had to go from the back all the way up to second. Just outside of the top 20 is where he restarted in this last or 2 times ago, I suppose, and has been working hard ever since. That'll overstress it for sure.
Your closest battles on the track here, this is all the way back to 8th. Salamone in the 99, Kevin Sargent in the 09, and then Rutherford, who we have talked about quite a bit tonight, who I thought was going around and somehow made a miraculous save about 10 laps ago. He's back up to 10th. I think he was a little farther down than that after the incident. But he's looking to get past. This is Luke Peterson in that 89. He's looking to get around him on the inside. I don't think it's going to happen this time. But Rutherford is struggling just a little bit right now.
Okay, I am back in the sim.
Well, beautiful. You're back just as McKinnon, I think, maybe was just cooling off his tires a little bit, because the gap is back to just right at a second now. But he's gained a half a second over the last 5 laps or so.
And there is going to be some lap traffic here coming up in probably the next 10 laps or so for these leaders to contend with. No matter who's out front or if they're battling side by side, they'll have some pretty deep lap traffic, as most of the back half of the field is still kind of conglomerated together.
And we're going cockpit view here with McKinnon as we see him try to work to gain some ground on Nathan Reynolds, but it is tough business trying to catch Nathan Reynolds, I can assure you of that.
A few drivers on pit road. Corey Rutherford is one of them, as well as Eric Breeding. Pascal Simard also in the pits.
We're actually seeing some downshifting now. McKinnon just downshifted going into 3.
And that's something that I usually didn't do. But it does make sense. You are running pretty low RPMs there in 4th gear through 3 and 4.
Well, in the old configuration, when that was 1 and 2, I would do the same as well, usually downshift into 1. So, not completely out of the ordinary, but I am a little bit surprised.
More trucks on pit road, it looks like. I believe Poliski is on pit road. Austin Holyfield on pit road as well. Luke Peterson has just hit pit road as well. So I thought maybe that we were done with pit stops, but it shows you what I know here.
Well,
here comes Nathan Reynolds. Reynolds is on pit road. He brings Steve Roman along with him. And these are some of the guys that pit early. Thought they should have been good logistically on fuel, but maybe not on tires. Or maybe I'm just wrong altogether. I think that's probably the more likely option.
No, I think that just tells me that the tire fall off is massive here, because we thought somebody might try to stretch it till the end, which they still may. Somebody may still try to stretch it, but those guys coming into pit already tells me that they're really hurting for tires already.
I can tell you the lap that Jeremy McKinnon, who is now the race leader, just ran was a 28.933. His best overall lap in the sim is a 27.76. So it's over a second and 2/10 difference between a new set of tires and the set that McKinnon, who is on the freshest tires right now, is on. So that's a massive tire fall off. Rutherford is going to lunge to the inside of him. He's on fresh tires. Look at how much he just gapped him by, just in that one corner. I mean, he rocketed past him.
Yeah, I think if you're McKinnon, I don't think there's really any reason to stay out. I mean, I would have been probably coming with the rest of the field, but I don't know. Maybe there's something he knows that I don't. It seems like the pace has backed off for him quite a bit, but what do I know? I'm just a broadcaster.
So
There's
McKinnon,
a reason I'm not
Langston,
racing.
McKinnon, Langston, Stearns, Kevin Sargent, and Brantley Gainey have all stayed out. Maybe Kyle Dumig as well, but everybody else has come down to pit. So it's those top 6 that have stayed out right now. And we talked to Andy Poliski after he finished second last week at IRP. Remember that he was one of the last drivers to pit there under the green flag pit cycle. He was trying for the overcut. He says if it would have gone green all the way to the end, he thinks he would have been in P1 no problem. So maybe the overcut is going to be the strategy here. 38 laps to go. Now make it 37 as they cross the line.
And a great battle going on here between Reynolds and Poliski. Currently on track, this is going to be for the 10th spot.
Just had a moment a little bit further back in the pack between Chad Stearns and Austin Holyfield. Stearns on old tires, Holyfield on fresh tires. They actually made contact into turn number 4.
And Stearns was one that stayed out. He's currently in 3rd.
So it's McKinnon, Langston, Stearns, Kevin Sargent, Brantley Gainey. Still the drivers that are out here. As Kyle Dumig stays out of the way for the race leader there.
Further back here, Poliski did get around Reynolds, so Poliski is in 10th now, Reynolds in 11th.
And that is big, because in theory, that will be the pass for the lead.
And you can see those guys, they are just down this backstretch from your leader, McKinnon, and they will, I mean, they're going to have to make a lap up on him and then come around and pass him again to take the win, but theoretically, the longer this thing goes on, the tires for McKinnon are going to be next to nothing.
Michael Krall and who is that? Ryan Dye battling side by side with one another. And Dye has gotten through on Krall, who really was trying to roll the middle of the corner there. They're both working around the second place car as they run, Jeff Langston.
And Dumig was in there as well, I think.
I don't believe Dumig is pit yet, so that's still a position on the track, but Dumig still needs to come into the pits. He's just trying to hang on and hope for a caution here to get a wave around. Or maybe he's just going to finish it out. We'll have to see. But drivers are going to start unlapping themselves. The drivers that have pit anyway. It's Ryan Dye, Michael Krall. Maybe Andy Poliski only a few laps away from doing so. Maybe within the next lap, actually, for Ryan Dye, who is cooking and booking. Last lap for McKinnon was a 29 flat. Last lap for Ryan Dye was a 28.5 in the middle of lap traffic. So even in the middle of traffic, he is half a second quicker right now than the race leader. This time across the line, about a 28.5 still for Ryan Dye and a 28.9. So 0.4 of a second faster. You can see the gap really starting to close down between these two.
And we have Irish in the YouTube chat rooting for Insert Coin Racing. And Poliski has now caught Krall. Poliski's really on a mission right now.
Poliski, I think, is looking for some revenge after his strategy went kaput last week through no fault of his own, of course. But Poliski digging hard. He is trying to pass everybody that has come down the pits already.
And there's a lone lap truck between Dye and McKinnon now. Dye's going to get around him.
Yeah, that is Austin Holyfield, who is blinking quite a bit. So I think he's trying to stay out of the way, but also he has an opportunity to go 1 lap down instead of 2 if he can get around the race leader.
Poliski's gotten around Crawl as well.
Yeah, Poliski is flying.
Oh, and Holyfield gets into the wall.
Ryan Dye has caught McKinnon. Poliski has caught them both. He is faster than both of these drivers. Dye down on the dog leg. Poliski trying to stay high. Now he's going to go underneath of the race leader. Poliski's going to go through to follow.
I tell you what, though, they are...
Oh, look, they're looking 3 wide. Oh, my goodness. And Poliski thinks better of it. He rolls out, gives Dye the bottom. Dye's going to wash back up the track, though, and open up the bottom once again. Poliski has to roll out of it again to not make any contact. Here comes Nathan Reynolds back into the mix.
Yeah, and the problem here is they're going to have to come back around and get back around McKinnon again, and they are slowing each other down right now. They are almost gifting a win, barring any trouble for McKinnon, to him.
If McKinnon comes down to pit anyway, or if he doesn't come down to pit, rather. That's the thing. This is the battle for the lead that's not in the lead, but the leader is in it. There's so many factors at play here.
Well, it surprised me how long it took. I mean, before Poliski got to him, Dye had a pretty clear shot to just pass McKinnon on the inside and be done with it, and he wasn't able to get it done very easily. So that tells me that McKinnon's probably not going to come down pit road. He's going to try to stick this thing out. That's what I'm thinking anyways.
And these are the same 4 trucks as last week. And kind of doing the same thing. Ryan Dye. Poliski was faster than Ryan Dye at most of the final run, and then the last 2 restarts could not get around him. He may not have that trouble, though, this time.
And Dye and company have some others to get around as well for position. Or I should say Poliski and company, as Poliski is around Dye now.
So McKinnon, Langston, Stearns, Gainey, and Kevin Sargent are still the drivers who have not come down to pit as of yet.
And they are all still on the lead lap, so Poliski, the next position to get is going to be around the 09 of Sargent, who's in 5th, and there's about a 7-second gap right now. That one's closing pretty darn quickly, though.
So Dye has lost positions now to Poliski and to Reynolds. McKinnon is still out on the track. Steve Roman and Michael Krall are trying to work around him now to unlap themselves. But Poliski, if everybody in front of him comes down to pit, would cycle around to be the leader. But we don't know if that's going to happen yet. It'll be 22 laps to go for the race leader next time he comes around.
I wonder what happened to Krall. I thought Krall had gotten around McKinnon at one point, or was at least right beside him, and now Roman's passed him, and Krall's trying to pass again.
Well, Krall was second in line behind Ryan Dye. Everybody caught Krall and McKinnon at the exact same time. They all went through Krall, and Krall really wasn't able to get past the race leader, McKinnon. I'm not sure why, but my sim is really struggling here. This update has thrown my whole PC for a loop, it seems. So, kind of fading in and out of it here. I'll let you know if it really goes away.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm looking at
the race back over.
I'm looking at numbers here. We got 20 laps to go, and McKinnon has a 25-second lead on Poliski and the rest of the drivers there, and I can tell you, they are not making up a second a lap, and they actually need to make up more than that. So as it sits, I think McKinnon has made a good decision unless he starts falling off really, really hard here in the last 20 laps.
Poliski just ran a 28.4. McKinnon across the line right now is running 29.1. So 7/10, yeah. Now, McKinnon's tires are really going to start to fall off here before too long, but so are Poliski, Reynolds, and Dyes. Especially with how hard they're pushing, they're not going to be enjoying the same advantage as they were when they just caught McKinnon.
Yeah, and as we get down, I think Reynolds has been kind of following Poliski here for a while, but as we get to the very end of this race, he's going to say, screw it, I'm passing to get the second place finish. Or that won't even be for the second place finish at that point. It might be for fourth or fifth as they've gotten around Sargent now. So Poliski's in fifth. Gainey is going to be the next in fourth, but he is 8 seconds in front of them, and they're not closing in incredibly quickly. These guys have some room. They got some ground to make up here.
I tell you who actually is closing in, though. We may actually have a battle for the real lead is Jeff Langston.
Langston and Stearns also. Stearns is only about 7/10 behind Langston also. And
Langston had it within a second. He lost about half a tenth that last time by. So maybe McKinnon sees the Langston is advancing and is put on the burners. But Jeff Langston still relatively close to the race leader here as they come across the line this time. He gained another half-tenth or so. He gained all the ground that he lost the last time by. So Langston within a comfortable distance between him and the race leader McKinnon. Again, barring the fact that they may or may not be coming back down pit road at some point.
Yeah, I mean, without any cautions, they're letting this one play out for sure. I don't have any doubt in my mind about it.
I mean, logistically, they're within the fuel window. It's just a question of how comfortable you're going to be on these tires. And now Langston chopped about a tenth and a half off of the distance between he and the race leader that time. It'll be 14 to go at the line.
McKinnon, this is Langston in the 21. McKinnon is the next truck in sight. We're going to go to the cockpit view here. That next truck in front of him is McKinnon, so he is looking at the leader, trying to run him down in these last 14 laps to go.
Lost a little bit less than a tenth that time, but you're right, clean air between the two. More lap traffic ahead of McKinnon as well.
And I can tell you, these guys are downshifting heavy. McKinnon was doing it earlier. Langston is also doing it. You can see Langston has some damage to the left front of his hood there. So Langston doing this with some damage to the truck.
Yeah, Langston was involved in that scrap between Maxwell and TJ Bartle earlier, if you'll recall. So yeah, Langston, who was running in the top five pretty much all the entirety of the IRP race last week, even got up front and led one lap. Had nothing to show for it, getting caught in a late race caution and blowing the motor on pit road. So this is a redemption race for Jeff Langston. And don't forget, it's a three-way tie for 9 wins atop the all-time win list, and Langston is one of those drivers. So he could be the first driver into double digits here with the Venom trucks. All he has to do is pass Jeremy McKinnon, who's looking for win number 2 on the season.
And if you're curious, Poliski, Reynolds, Dye back here, they are now to 4th, 5th, and 6th, but still 20 seconds behind 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So they've kind of made their bed, and they're laying in it, but trying to battle each other still.
Losing a 10th here, gaining a 10th there. Langston, his charge has stalled out a little bit, as has Chad Stearns. It has stayed around that 1.6, 1.7 margin no matter what Langston's been doing. So Stearns just kind of lying in wait here. Your pole sitter got up front and led some laps early, but was involved in one caution, and similar to last week, has fought his way back up to the front here.
Yeah, I think he actually had to do it twice last week.
Yeah, he did.
Some more of that here this week, but doing a great job. When your tires get to this point where everybody's on tires this old, you are looking for just any tiny little advantage you can get, because it's just hard to get anything out of them.
9 to go for the race leader. Poliski 20 seconds behind in 4th, so they're going to need a miracle.
I will tell you, Stearns has closed in a little bit. Right now he's at a half a second. He was at 7/10 a little while ago, so he is closing, but maybe not as quickly as he would like to.
And Langston has fallen back a little bit as well. It was 8.5 tenths back last time by. This time by, as he crosses the line, yeah, he's up over a second. So he lost about 2.5, 3 tenths on that last lap. And a little bit of lap traffic in front of McKinnon that he'll catch in the next few laps, but nothing too crazy. So Langston maybe just laying back, going for one more push here. Or it could be McKinnon that was baiting Langston into a push. Either way, it's Jeremy McKinnon up front. Pulled off the big win at Daytona to open the season. Currently in the tied for third in the point standings. He's run a pretty consistent, fantastic season outside of a misstep at Michigan, getting a couple of pit road speeding penalties. But notched his 4th career win at Daytona and has not really looked back since.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a great start to the season, and as we're talking about him, Stearns is going to get around Langston. Langston is really struggling now.
So Stearns, much in the same there, laying back, managing those tires, and now he gets up around Jeff Langston there for P2. And Stearns missed the Daytona race earlier this season, came out in his first race of the season in Michigan. Passed the top 4 trucks on the front straightaway to win that race. Some additional context needed there, but it's been a good fight for Chad Stearns to try and get his way back up into this points battle, and he's came into this race P13. He'll get some bonus points for the pole and for leading some laps, and is right now in P2.
Folks, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I know we only got 5 laps to go, but Stearns is closing in on McKinnon. Closing. This might not be done yet.
And that was going to be the next question that I had, because he was 9.5 tenths the last time by. He is inside of 5 tenths now and closing even quicker than that. It's 2 or 3 truck lengths now between Stearns and McKinnon. Both drivers looking for win number 2 on the season. Stearns is going to have the run here down the back straightaway, looking to the inside. He's got the top spot back. McKinnon really struggling on those old tires. Stearns lighting him up.
And I don't think McKinnon's going to be able to answer at all. I do not know. Chad Stearns must have been really sitting on his tires for a long time, because, boy, they have come to life here in these last closing laps.
He was 1.1 seconds faster than Jeremy McKinnon that last time by. And now Chad Stearns back in control. 2 to go.
And I'm going to go back to another great battle here we've been talking about all night. Reynolds has now gotten around Poliski, and they're not done yet.
They're 18 seconds behind the race leader. As McKinnon and Langston running second and third, trying to nurse these tires home. Chad Stearns, with a beam of energy out of nowhere, finds himself in the lead, coming to the line. It is 1 lap to go here at Phoenix.
And he has really gapped McKinnon over 6 seconds now.
Wow. Down the back straightaway. Oh, Stearns, I think, may have had a problem. Either that or he's letting Daniel Morey go. Either way, Chad Stearns. Is he out of fuel?
He might be out of fuel. He just rolled it across.
He was out of fuel. Wow, he makes it to the line, though.
Oh,
Chad Stearns.
Langston and McKinnon might be too. Reynolds is going to get...
Oh, my gosh.
Russell Reynolds is going to end up second, Poliski in third.
So Chad Stearns runs out down the back straightaway.
Look at these
He
two.
will win the race.
Oh, my
Langston
gosh. And McKinnon down on the bottom.
They're still rolling. Oh, my gosh. Talk about cutting it close.
And we thought they were going to be fine.
Yeah, we thought we were fine on fuel. Yeah, holy cow. They were 1 lap from being fine. They were half a lap from being fine. There they go across the line. Langston
and Stearns is being pushed.
Wow.
So he can get to the finish line to at least
No
sit there and
burnouts.
celebrate.
Chad Stearns out of fuel was 19 seconds ahead of Nathan Reynolds when they crossed the line for the white flag. Nathan Reynolds finishes 12.3 seconds behind Chad Stearns, who will pick up his second win of the season. Venom Truck Series win number 3 of his career. It's his second short track win. He won at Richmond last season and gets it done here tonight at the dealdozforfree.com 69 plus 46. And I tell you, the plus 46 is really what did a lot of these drivers in, it looks like.
Yeah, they needed it to be about plus 45 or plus 44 to really make it work well for him. But Chad Stearns played it beautifully like a fiddle. Unbelievable.
And we're doing burnouts, right? The burnouts are happening.
Yes, we are. The burnouts are happening. This is what you get for burnouts tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But it doesn't matter how you celebrate as long as you get it done. And Chad Stearns got it done tonight.
Well, as we wait for something to happen, I guess, let's go ahead and give you the finishing order here. I just can't believe that. That is hilarious. All right, so it's Chad Stearns. Like I said, career win number 3 with the Venom Truck Series here tonight. We'll talk to him as well as Nathan Reynolds, who finishes in P2, Andy Poliski in P3. Back-to-back podiums for those gentlemen. We'll hear from all 3 of them, hopefully, momentarily. Steve Roman will finish P4 here tonight. That is his best finish of the season, a well-deserved result for him. P5, how about it for Paul Ellison? That is his ties his best finish of the season. He also finished 5th at Daytona, but another P5 for Paul Ellison, and he's in the points hunt as well, don't forget. So great result for him tonight. P6 for last week's winner, Ryan Dye. 7th place finish for Michael Krall. Jan Van Leer is back. That's his best finish of the season. He finishes P8 here tonight. Will Salamone came into tonight as the points leader. I believe he has now relinquished the points lead, but he'll still be in the hunt as well. Another top 10 finish for him here tonight. Jeremy McKinnon, Jeff Langston, 1st and 2nd at the white flag. They will finish 10th and 11th, a lap down. Luke Peterson finishes P12. I believe that's his best finish of the season. I'll actually go double check that right now. Actually, he finished top 10 at Daytona, but a 12th place run for Luke Peterson tonight. Pretty good. Kyle Zittel, P13. Kevin Sargent was trying to play the strategy game as well. He finishes in 14th. Pascal Samard to P15 here tonight. As Brantley gaining in 16th. Eric Breeding in 17th. Those are your lap down trucks. 2 laps down in 18th. It is Ethan Patterson. Austin Holyfield in 19th. Kyle Dumick finishes in 20th. 21st, Corey Rutherford, who was having a great run here earlier tonight. He is the last truck 2 laps down. 5 laps down in 22nd, Garrett Rainey. I think he should get a prize for sticking it out here tonight. 22nd place finish for him. Daniel Morey with some problems there late. He finishes P23. Paul Sargent, I believe a DNF for him here tonight. He finishes P24 as Cole Maxwell, Michael Dean, TJ Bartle all caught up in early cautions. They round out the field in 25th, 26th, and 27th. All righty, partner. Let's bring in our 3rd place finisher. One spot down from last week at IRP, but an exciting last lap once again, trying to work around some of the chaos. It's Andy Poliski with the P3 here tonight. Welcome back to Booth 200. How was that race for you?
Good race, good points day. So, wish it could have come out on the lead, but a lot of fun racing Nathan there at the end. I kind of burned my stuff up a little bit, so I didn't really have much left for him. I tried to send it in there on him at the end, though. So.
Well, Matt and I were thinking that everybody was good on fuel, but of course we're terrible at strategy. I don't know if anybody's picked up on that yet or not. Did you think that McKinnon, Langston, and Stearns were good to the end, or did you think that they were going to have to come down and pit at some point?
I actually thought they were going to be good to the end. Jeremy and Jeff, they're on my team, and when they pit there with on what was that 40-39, I figured that was going to be enough to get to the end. I almost came in to top off fuel, but I didn't want to be back in the back, so
Matt?
Well, you kind of took my question from me. I was going to ask if they if they knew that they were going to have enough fuel or not. As far as the tires go, when those tires started to get really bad, I mean, was there like a huge fall off after they were already, 30, 40 laps old, or did they just kind of even out after that?
So it really, the drop off seemed about 20 laps. From new, it was a big drop off, but then after that, it kind of leveled off. There were a couple of things you could try to do to change the balance. I started shifting the last 15 or 20 laps to try to loosen the truck up a little bit. But like I said, I think I just burned up 3 tires doing it. So didn't have enough drive off at the end to keep Nathan behind me.
That's another hard fought battle with Nathan Reynolds. You two must have a magnet that attracts you to one another.
Yeah, I believe so. But we're having a lot of fun doing it and hopefully putting on a good show.
Absolutely. I'll say shout outs for you here tonight with the P3 finish.
Thank my sponsors, Nissan, Wichita Falls, Pepsi for the truck, CJR Graphics. He's the one that painted this truck. Looks awesome. So, and then again, the league and you guys, great guys to race with, and great broadcast every single week.
Well, there you go. It'll be a fun one to watch back for you. Congrats on the P3 finish, and keep this string of podiums up.
Yes, sir. Hopefully so. Thank you.
All right, another driver on a similar podium streak here is your P2 finisher here tonight. Hard fought all the way down to the line. It is Nathan Reynolds. Congrats on the P2, first of all. Secondly, I'm going to ask you the same thing that I asked Andy just a second ago. Did you think that the top 3 were good to the end? Did you think they were short?
A pretty good feeling that the guys that were shifting, that we could hear shifting, weren't going to make it, and they in fact did run out. But I wouldn't even have gave them that much benefit of the doubt, though. They made it a lot longer than I thought they would. But I was racing Andy like we were battling for the lead there, because I had a feeling they would run out. But Chad, man, he stretched it.
Yeah, 116 laps. I think you would have been battling there for the lead, and it would have been another duel all the way down to the line like you guys had at IRP last week. Matt, what do you got here for Nathan?
Well, it's not necessarily about the race tonight, but I want to know. I want to know about the event this weekend. Are we gonna be seeing the old 51 in the race this weekend?
Oh, we absolutely are. Me and AJ McCarron, one of us should have won that race last year, and one of the actual NASCAR guys, leave it to them to throw a bad block and
no kidding,
wrecked us. So we got some redemption to take care of this weekend. We're gonna do our best to have a blast there, racing for a really good cause. My son, when he was just a week old, was diagnosed with RSV and the flu, and we basically had to make plans for him to not be around. He wasn't expected to live, and he will turn 3 years old here on New Year's Eve. And I'm racing to give back to the direct hospital that took care of him. They're part of the St. Jude's Foundation, so pretty awesome. And I want more than anything in me. I'll probably take it more serious than anybody else in the event, but I really want to give back to those people that helped us so much.
Well, that's an incredible story for an incredible group of people, and you're an incredible dude, not only for everything that you've gone through, but for helping to facilitate on our end getting this broadcast. First of all, that's just something I have not mentioned until right now on this broadcast, is we hit 100 subs during the off week. And the NASCAR Report Instagram post about the race has 2,000 likes. So that's an incredible hookup for us. So I want to sincerely thank you for that on air before we get to Friday and Saturday. We really appreciate it. But who do you want to thank here tonight with the silver medal? Because you were up front slogging it out all race long. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, as you were mentioning before, NASCAR Report, thank him, my sponsor. He was on the truck here for this league, and he done a lot to advertise my YouTube channel and helping me out when I first got started, much like it's helping you guys out. And thanks to all my followers and everybody that supports me. And big shout out to Andy tonight. Me and him really slugged it out that entire race. We were door to door. I didn't give him an inch, and just thank him for being the competitor and the clean racer that he is. It makes it so fun. I think we keep topping each other every single week, and I don't know how we're going to do it next week, but I'm sure we will. And I don't want to leave this out this time either. I might get in trouble, but big thanks to my wife.
Yeah.
Yes. She, I kind of joke about it, but in all seriousness, we got two little ones at the house, as I mentioned. One's getting ready to turn 3, another about to turn 5, and they are loose cannons. So they're wild. My wife's currently going back to college now, about to finish up, and Tuesday night is her biggest homework night. So she plays a really big role in helping me get the boys down to bed early, and just for the fact that I can come in here and have fun while she's in there doing homework. So big shout out to her. She helps make this happen very much.
Absolutely. Shout out to Super Mom and Super Wife. We appreciate all the wives and moms and significant others that sacrifice for the sim racers here. But for the sim racer himself, another P2 finish. It's your 3rd podium of the season. Congrats on it, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you very much.
And all righty, for the 2nd time this season, we welcome in your race-winning driver. That is Chad Stearns, a P1 here tonight at Phoenix after he qualified on the pole. I mean, you've just got one written everywhere but the side of your truck here. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So talk about the you-know-what moment. Probably, I'm guessing, heading out of turn number 2, you realize you're getting really light in the tank there. What's going through your mind?
Well, I knew it was going to be close, so I'd been clutching it for probably 20 laps, just coasting into 3 and 4. I knew I was going to be like 0.3 short, so I was just trying to make it up, and then sure enough, I ran out coming out of 4 and was able to. I honestly didn't even think I was going to make it to the line coasting, but I was able to get past it. So.
And now between IRP last week and the beginning of this race, you've really gutted out some breathtaking, death-defying performances, trying to work through crashes, being involved in crashes. How does it feel in a race where you've been involved in a couple of crashes to actually come out with a good result, let alone a win?
I mean, to be honest, I've been doing this iRacing thing for a while now, so it's really to be expected. You know what I mean?
I got you there. Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, you talked about how you were kind of clutching it, just coasting. Did you? I kind of lost it with all the pit stops going on. Did you come in on the same lap as McKinnon and the rest of the crew, and you were able to basically save an entire lap of fuel on the rest of them? Was that the case?
Yeah. So basically, I got in a little incident early in the race. It wasn't anything major, but I didn't really want to come in and get the damage fixed. Well, real quick, I could tell it was affecting my speed. So I think it was the 2nd caution, I decided to come in and get tires, and then I knew that it'd be close on fuel. So, I wasn't sure if I would have the speed to win, so I decided to gamble.
Well, the gamble paid off. And you are in victory lane once again here this season with the Venom Truck Series. Who do you want to thank here tonight from the top step?
Just Zittlink Racing, Venom Truck Series, and you guys for broadcasting.
Absolutely. I asked you when you won in Michigan if you'd be here for the full season, and you said yes. And now you got to turn your attention to a championship. You're the first driver to come away with multiple victories. How do you feel about your chances at competing for a title here?
I mean, at the beginning of the season, that was the goal. So, I mean, I like my chances, and just have to see how it goes.
Well, there you go. You're on quite the streak right now. We'll let you go party with your P1 here tonight, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you here down the road. Chad Stearns, 3rd career victory here tonight, 2nd of the season. He's got the hot hand headed into Indianapolis next week. Congratulations again.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All righty, I mentioned that Indianapolis race. We had a fun race name here tonight at Phoenix. It was the dealdosforfree.com 69 plus 46. Are you ready for the race name for Indianapolis next week? I don't think if I gave you a trillion guesses, you wouldn't get this.
I'm sure I wouldn't, but I would love for you to lay it on me right now.
Next week's is 60 laps in Indianapolis for the Taco Chalupa Batman Memorial at the Brickyard. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say to that. Anything you want to say to wrap up this broadcast here at Phoenix?
You can't ask me to wrap it up after telling me something like that.
Wrap it up like a chalupa.
Oh my gosh. No, I mean, just as always, thanks for everybody for tuning in, especially for the Venom Truck Series. It's great to have a great group that follows this series around and gives us some good views. We enjoy the racing. I mean, the racing has been incredible up to this point, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. Also, I want to thank you all in advance for tuning into our biggest events in the channel's history this weekend. We're going to have the qualifiers, which you can race in on Friday night at Daytona to get into the big race on Saturday with some major names. You're not going to want to miss it.
Absolutely. We want you to be a part of the action on Friday and on Saturday, whether you're racing, whether you're watching. In order to do that, you need to hit that subscribe button. And while you're down there, also hit the like button as well. We would really appreciate it. And thanks to Double X Irish for chatting with us here tonight, cheering on Insert Coin Racing. We'll have updates on the driver's points and also on the team points next week on hopefully a broadcast and a computer that is more cooperative than mine was here tonight. It was a pain in the butt, to say the least. But appreciate you, Mr. Matt Williamson, for staking it out with me here tonight. And appreciate everybody coming out here today and for coming out on Friday and Saturday. Man, it is going to be a big week for the channel here, and we appreciate everybody being a part of it. So our next broadcast, like I mentioned, is the Taco Chalupa Batman Memorial at the Brickyard next Tuesday night at Indianapolis. That'll be round number 5 of the 5th season. So we hope to see you there. We hope to see you this weekend. We hope to see you in our Discord. Go ahead and join that. Join up with Truck 200, and you can get on the track here with us twice a week instead of once a week with some good old-fashioned trucking. For the greatest stream producer of all time, that is the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson. I've been Tommy Cook. Until we meet again here on Turn 200, we say so long from the virtual desert at Phoenix Raceway, where Chad Stearns pulls it off, but just by the drop of fuel, his second victory of the season. Good night, everybody.